We're at Skillman Park right now, and we're preparing to start our citywide disaster drill exercise. We're setting up our staging area and our incident command post. Everyone's busy right now with all the activities. We'll be starting the drill here soon with the next 30 to 45 minutes. So we're all busy doing our tasks and our duties, and we're looking forward to a great drill day.
It's Waters End Park.
Oh.
That's going to have to be. I saw in the paper that it was 500, but I don't know whether. I guess it's 500 McAllister because these are these numbers here.
86,
Right.
600.
Yeah.
500 sounds good.
So where are we here?
Okay, we're down here off of Rose,
Okay, but this is McAllister.
and you'll come out here and you'll hang a
We
right.
go up Rose.
Hi, I'm Maggie Walden, and so I'm acting as the incident commander for the site this morning. And what we are doing right now is we are going over with logistics, safety, the lift and carry, and operations. We're just planning out what we are going to do when we have the team show up at, in about 40 minutes.
Maggie, what's the incident?
The incident is the Benicia Citywide drill. This mocks a 6.5 earthquake that's centered just south of Cordelia, and it affects the chlorine tanks at the water treatment system, or the water treatment plant, and gas cloud moving over the neighborhood of Waters End.
And we are in Benicia?
We are in Benicia. We are at Skillman Park.
Okay, great.
I'm Sue Maddox, and I'm in charge, supposedly, of the logistics. In other words, all of the equipment is where it's supposed to be, when it's supposed to be, and that the trucks, as we speak, are taking things out. We have 9 sites set out, and most of those, 6 of them are in Waters End Park, and the other 3 are at residences who allowed us to use their driveways. And as we speak, those equipment are going out to each one. And we have lift and carry, we have search and rescue, and we're trying to bring in also, because this is a citywide thing, we are trying to bring in the Humane Society, the police, Red Cross, other teams, other things other than just BERT. And it's a training program for BERT people.
I'm Marion McCown with the BERT program, also a radio operator, but here I'm a scribe today. And we also have other scribes. We have Louise Bond as a scribe, and we have Joyce Gray as a scribe. And Liz is her name. Your name again? Liz. Yeah, Liz. She's also a scribe. We're going to be bringing chaos out of order today. We're going to be assigning people in, and then when they're assigned to teams, we'll write that down. And then hopefully they'll all come back after the, and also we'll be assigning out the equipment that's in the trailer, the radios, and stretchers. That's a good thing if we have stretchers, and also fire extinguishers for the people who are doing the fire suppression. So that's what we're doing today, and looking forward to having a really good time.
Morning, I'm Larry Whitney. I'm acting as the operations chief for the BERT Incident Command Group. I'm going to be dealing with each of the five BERT teams, the CERT teams that are in this case with an ICS chart would look like strike teams, and we're going to be positioning them starting at 5 separate locations. And they will be rotating around a series of different homes and events, utilizing different skills that they got in their training. We're also going to use this as a chance to work on communications between the teams and the Incident Command Center and the Incident Commander, which will then forward that information on to the EOC, which is at the main firehouse downtown.
I want to cover the basis of each of your sections and make sure you guys have everything you need. Start off with logistics.
As far as I know, we have everything we need. We just will need, when everyone gets here, we will need to make sure that we have a supervisor, so to speak, we have one for lift and carry. I want one for the search and rescue that can explain the virtual scene. The rest of the things on our sheet are pretty much self-explanatory.
Okay, very good. And operations?
We've already gone through how we're going to deal once the volunteers are checked in, how the briefing sequence we're going to go through. One thing I don't know is the first bus is supposed to leave here at 9:50 to take the first team. Where are they going to meet? Where are they going to meet that?
Thank you.
I think we're all set. We have our roles all established and things. The only thing that I would like to have that I don't have currently is I'd like to get the SO and the lift and carry guy out to see the site before the incident starts. Since this is an exercise, I'd like to have them kind of get a look at that before they're seeing it for the first time with the volunteers.
Let the van driver, just shut him over there prior to the drill commencement.
Probably wouldn't be a bad drive around, I think.
Right. Yeah, well, I'm concerned that everything is in place.
More groups and meeting and others. This is station WPP right 737, operated by the city of Benicia.
Thanks, Sean.
Drill simulates a magnitude 6.5 earthquake that centered on the Green Valley Fault, 4 miles south of Cordelia. At 09:05, the community alert notification system was activated. I don't know if you heard that, but the cans did go off. And so at 9:15, the water treatment plant reports a chlorine gas leak that resulted in 2 tons of gas being released over the neighborhood, over Water's End. And so, have you all seen this incident action plan? No. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to skip the rest of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide you up into teams. I think those of you that will be going out and participating in the drill actually in Water's End. The operations section chief for that is Larry. We have George is the safety officer for that. He will also give you a briefing on the safety for this incident. And then we have Jim, who is going to be the leader for the lift and carry team. Did you want to say something? Did you want to say something?
Well, I was telling her to come over here, but we need, the scribes here need to have the names of the people on the teams as you assign
We'll
them.
do that after we assign the teams, and their leader will come to you and give you the names.
Okay, and then Sue here is the logistics section chief. She has the incident exercise packets. So once you get divided up into teams of 5, each team will have a packet that will describe what your operational duties will be. Okay, the operational period for this exercise is only going to be 1 hour. So keep that in mind. All right, so with that, I'm going to turn it over to safety.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
First of all, most important is really safety, your own personal safety first of all. So I want to say this, first of all, it may sound like blasphemy in a way, but if you feel like you can't do something due to an injury, you're feeling ill, your back is hurting, don't do it. We really don't want to have any real incidents here. Secondly, of course, please have the proper equipment. Good shoes, helmet, gloves, dust mask if you have them, goggles, etc., whatever is appropriate for the task at hand. Always work with others. It's not a lone ranger thing, no matter in a drill or otherwise. And of course, in a drill or otherwise, if you're in a situation, do a size-up. Make sure it's safe. Whether the fire suppression or wherever you are, make sure the environment is safe for you to enter. Be aware of your surroundings. I've been informed that many of the sidewalks, as is common around Benicia, as you know, are uneven. So be aware of where you are. I know I'm from closer to military, so I'm not familiar with this area. So kind of be aware of where you are, your surroundings, etc., so we don't have any real incidents. Make sure you stay hydrated, even on a cool day like this. Practice proper lifting techniques, please. If you're in a scenario where you have to be lifting, work with someone else. Lift, of course, as you know, by bending the knees. It's so easy to do this. Carry the load, or the dummy, or whatever it is, as the case may be, close to your body. And please don't lift no more than is reasonable, or don't lift anything heavier than you feel comfortable with lifting. And again, you know, just even on a drill like today, you know, practice safety techniques. Again, if you feel you don't feel comfortable with doing something, you know, say, hey, can you help me out doing it, or can someone else do this, please? All right, thank you.
So now I'm going to turn it over to Sue, Logistics Chief.
Each one of you will, each team, and we'll have it broken up into 5 teams. Each team will have a packet. You will have 9 sites that you'll be looking at, hopefully. Actually, at time crunch, you may not see them all. This is over at 11:05, and at 11:05 you report back. The teams will start. Team 1 will start at site 1. Team 2 will start every odd number, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And you will have that in your packet. Each site will have pictures that go with it. It will have what you are seeing there. Some of them will have cardboard Vicks. Some of them will have real live. We have real live triage people in 2 sites. So you will see a little bit of everything. And so when I give you the team leader, we'll have this. Each team should have a scribe of some kind because there's a certain amount of paperwork that goes with this. And it would be nice if one of them, especially if it's someone who doesn't want to have to lift and do a lot of things, we need a scribe or someone who can handle the paperwork. The trailer should be back here soon. It will have the type of things to write on. It will have extra helmets. And we'll have other items that you may need. Just let us know.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. So Larry, the operations section chief, now will explain to you, like how you're going to get to and from the site, and how he will designate you as teams.
Right now we have 15 BERT members plus some observers, and then each team will have a ham to go with you to communicate because your little radios won't get over the hill. So as it stands right now, since we have 15 people,
How many reserves? And put the
traffic.
no, I'm going to put 1 observer on each team.
right.
Okay, so then we're gonna work with 5 teams. And what will happen is that you will group together with your team. You'll identify yourselves and the team leader to Marion or one of the scribes so that they identify which team you're on using a very creative method, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so we will have BERT members to the extent that we can even them out between the 5 teams, and the observers, you can stand with whoever you'd like to. My suggestion
We're set up here in order to provide communication at the staging area. We have a number of Benicia Amateur Radio Club operators that are trained in BERT and BARC, as we call ourselves. And the emergency setup that you see here has been constructed by club members in order to take it anywhere that needs to be set up without power, without antennas, without proper...
Ham operator at Water's Edge Command, over.
That's it.
Thank you. Staging, this is Benicia.
Hi, we're here. We're here to help you, okay?
Yep, he's conscious.
He's conscious.
The tags indicate his condition, but remember, you got his kid over here, so you can collect some valuable information from him. That's the one right there. How's your dad doing?
So far his will is meat, Xbox.
What happened to him?
The porch fell off.
Oh, the porch. That's the porch on top of him. Damn, I hate that when that happens.
Decided to put the porch on the driveway.
Okay, let's get our team here. Your observer, 2, 3. You've got a 3-person team. Can I have Jeff, and I forgot your name. Ed, let's carefully remove as much of this as we can. So that 4x4, lift that up, watch his hand there, remove that.
We're going to need this for a dry bar.
That's a good plan here. Can I have you get that 2x sits off. Make sure you're not disrupting the pile. Let's put this as far out of
We
the way.
can take that one off.
Hold on, let the team leader do that.
By the way, that wall weighs about 800 pounds.
We're going to have to crib that.
So wall by hand.
Use that lever there, and then we got some cribbing pieces here.
Okay, we can put. Let's remove these boards here. Maybe hand them to
Probably
Ed.
over here on this side of the.
Put them where we can get them cribbed.
What you want to do, when you're, for safety's sakes, when you go to lift a heavy load, and this is really heavy, you can see that 2x6 is bending. Okay, you want your fulcrum at right angles to the load, and you want your cribbing over on this side so you can slide it in, because you're already supported on that end, right?
Okay.
So you need 2 cribbing, one for your fulcrum at right angles, and one to slide in. So you want to build your 2 piles. And you can see the load is stabilized on that corner. It's actually bending it, right?
Right. So we'll make our fulcrum here best.
Boxes. Normally, you have to pull this back a little bit and then slide it in
And
after
slide
it comes
it all
up,
in
right?
all as a unit.
Because otherwise, you're not going to get your second box in without obstructing the person, right? So.
if 6391, you said, Larry? Yeah, I got that. Okay. Thank you. Out. Victim number 1. Victim found in the front yard face down on the lawn. Unable to awaken. Breathed when airway repositioned. Breath slow, 6 per minute, and irregular, gasping and frothy. Blanch test to fingers is greater than 3 seconds. Check pulse, no palpable pulse. No obvious trauma or bleeding. Okay. 6 breaths per minute.
Under 30 per minute.
I'm really delighted to be part of this drill exercise. First of all, it refreshes my own skills, which I learned in my class that I got certified in a couple of years ago. Second of all, I'm discovering that there are people from Vallejo and Concord and throughout the region, so this is not just a Benicia exercise. The comments I'm hearing is that this is BERT is awesome, that we have lots of the equipment and skills and depth of knowledge that they wish they had, and so they're getting some training and some insight as to how to do that program. Here we have, as you can see in the background, we have a number of facilities set up. We're doing exercise drills in disaster scenarios, and we're testing our skills and being able to determine various triage decisions and other activities. So again, this is a wonderful exercise, and this is a really important period for BERT to grow in the Water's End area as well. Okay, the Medical Reserve Corps is here. This is one of a kind in the Bay Area, and we have full capabilities of doing advanced triage and medical treatment.
I'm Alan Schwartzman, and I'm Vice Mayor of the City of Benicia, out here on a citywide disaster drill. We're up in the Water's End area, and the BERT teams are out in force. There's multiple teams out doing multiple exercises behind me. In just a moment is going to start the team that's going to be working with fire extinguishers, and the idea will be putting out the concept would be a small fire inside a home, maybe garbage can side, something like that. This is just one exercise that's going on. There's certainly search and rescue. There are exercises to have to lift injured people. First, there's triage, decide exactly what's going to be going on, whether the people are what we call walking wounded, or whether they need some immediate care, or certainly there's going to be people in a real disaster that might be dead, and we need to be able to tag them so people know what's going on. The teams integrate and communicate back to a team section, if you will, or for a incident command. To urge Benicians to join BERT, we have about 600 trained members. My goal would certainly be to get that up to about 1,500 members. It'll take years to do it, but that we need to do that. It's a very important thing, because we know at some point there will be a disaster, and it's going to be up to us to take care of us first, and that's what BERT's all about.
Done now. I didn't try. I haven't tried. Yeah, I haven't tried that.
Go ahead and check it out.
Are they going to take a sample?
No, you guys are fighting fire. I'm not giving you any samples. No, this will get too cold for you. You just pull that up. Give it a test squeeze. It's going to scare you.
Okay.
All right, move up on that fire. So enough heat? Crouch down. Back up. Don't turn your back until you're in a safe place. You know it works. All right.
Okay.
Let's move up until we start feeling heat. We feel comfortable.
Okay.
Pull, aim,
Pull,
squeeze,
aim,
squeeze.
Pass. Okay, come back.
Okay, so first thing we're going to do is get them on the board. Now, in a real emergency, this is going to be somebody's door. You take the hinges off.
Okay,
or there may be a collapse door. But hopefully, we won't go into a structure that's badly damaged.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to use whatever is available.
Okay, look, we've got room to put the board on this side. Yes, but he's got a broken leg.
He's got at least one
Wait a
broken
minute,
leg,
hold it
right?
on the leg, don't hold it on.
I'm not touching nothing.
Okay, put the board down.
Well, it's 2 minutes past.
Okay. Okay.
We want to slide it under his shoulders first.
You're going to want two people on this side.
Yes.
Pulling him back.
We don't have two people.
Well, here, I'll do it.
Okay, look.
Okay.
Let's slide
You
it
and I
under.
will tilt him this way.
First of all, we're going to slide it under his shoulders. Wait.
Okay,
First
1, 2, 3 in the front. Okay.
Now, roll
okay,
him down.
1, 2, 3, down. Okay.
Okay.
Now, in a real world, you'd have his arms folded over his chest so they don't flop over.
Right.
Okay, now. Oh, we got 4 people. Okay.
Now we got his injured limb. We have to move.
Yeah, no,
so we have to
very
gently move it in,
very
right?
gently. This is going to hurt.
Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, so we got that.
We can get underneath this thing.
Wait,
Okay. Now, remember, who's the leader here? Is there one?
I am.
Okay. So, we want to look at each other in the eye, keep our back straight, and looking each other in the eye helps keep our back straight.
Okay.
Okay.
1,
lift with the legs.
2, 3.
Okay. Then we'll want to move him just 3 or 4 feet. Okay. Stay on the count of 3. You want to count?
1, 2, 3.
Look at
We got an arm
look
problem.
each other in the eye.
We got an arm problem.
Okay.
What worked well, in my opinion, around this is that this team communicated and bonded and understood the different roles of the team, and that was a good thing.
Yep. Others? What worked well?
That we have this vest, so we know exactly what we are.
Roles. That's a
Our
visual thing.
roles
That's
is-
good. That's smart.
I really like the tarps with the numbers for each victim and the colors.
Okay. Others? Any ideas from you, Ray?
No,
Good, bad, or indifferent?
everything was positive, except location. The sun came out at the end of the drill.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that next year. Okay.
Okay, so
the only other part would have been don't water the grass.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
we're gonna
point.
water the grass.
Listen,
That's what we do different.
You can't plan for rain in a disaster.
The good thing too is the community kind of get curious and
Yeah.
come in and check out, and
Yeah.
hopefully they will
That
do
was
what they
another
said they
positive.
will.
Right.
Okay.
Which is to sign up.
Volunteers, yeah.
Any other things that went well?
How about areas for improvement?
Communications.
How
Yeah.
so?
Too much traffic. one channel. They should have split the channels.
Oh.
Shouldn't
But
have
in a real
had,
situation, we may not have had it.
Understood. But I'm just saying that was confusing.
Yeah. I think only, the one thing I would say, only 2 victims. I think victim coordination for practice here, I would have liked to see more based on the feedback that Mark, you, and Elaine, you mentioned that last time at the Hukilau, you had a lot more activities for practice purposes. I think logistically, setting up and everything, we had that down because it was planned for, but it was the actual practice of having a few more people would have helped out.
Yeah, the only part on that would have been logistics for supplying pop-up and table and chairs.
Right.
That's a big area.
It's not difficult to do. You know, this facility should never lose power.
Yeah, I'm with you. As long as it's safe to be here, we should. We've got. Art, can you kind of walk us through what took place at your location?
Well, obviously, one thing we weren't prepared to do is provide communications for Channel 4 or Channel 10, and we did have quite a bottleneck. We had anticipated handling traffic from the BERT teams and the 3 deployed mobile kits. We were also providing Angela a path to communicate with the fire incident commander and with the fire vehicles themselves. It worked. We slowed Angela down because she had to put up with the traffic that was coming through, and then she slowed us down. It took a while for the BERT teams to get deployed, and Ops was waiting for information. Tell us. They weren't out there. They were still, going to the neighborhoods and doing their surveys. And if we're going to be relying on the BERT teams for that information, it's going to take a while for them to get deployed. And the information in a true disaster, if you got the information in an hour, you're doing good. Here we wanted it in 15 minutes, and they weren't there yet. We did encounter a technical challenge. I don't know what the cure is yet, but when we are transmitting on our secondary ham radio channel, it causes a reduction of signal reception on the primary channel. So if they're both going at once, the primary does have some interference. And we need to work somehow, try and come up with a technical solution to that.
We have set up a little setback, as mentioned, with the communication frequency. We made some adjustments. Our command post was established initially at the intersection. Mark Messina was with me, Unified Command, Police and Fire. We set up our command post initially at the intersection of Rose and Gallagher.
Right.
We found that we initiated command there, and we had a problem with the frequencies. So then we moved to we relocated our command post to the park, trying to use our vehicle, my command vehicle, as a better signal to utilize channel 10, public works channel. Still didn't work. Then we relocated the command center a third time to be right next to the Go Kit. And it was a great opportunity. Now we have to actually use the ham radio as our primary frequency. So the Go Kit operator and the command post was married together, using the communications there in order to broadcast and transmit to the units in the field. We also then had to secure a mobile ham to shadow branch 1, which was engine 12, Captain Lundstedt, to make sure he had communications, because we weren't able to communicate with the fire branch. Medical was okay. We had medical branch 3. The medical branch had a Go Kit established at Waters End Park, so we had communications established there. Initially, we all rallied at the staging point. We requested resources to the scene. We went for a second alarm initially and increased it to a third alarm for fire resources. And ultimately, we had a fourth alarm request for fire resources. In addition to that, Ms. Mark Messina requested 2 police patrol strike teams, which are 5 units with supervisors, 5 patrol units with supervisors. We had 2 strike teams for PD units. We also requested 2 ambulance strike teams to the scene to assist with the evacuation and treatment of patients. We then requested coroner and PG&E to secure gas leaks and provide support for the morgue that was set up for the casualties that were being brought in. In addition to that, earlier on, once we identified our communications were inoperable, we sent a runner to the EOC to pick up cell phones to help with the BERT teams that were in the field. So our command structure, we had the incident command, which was myself with Mark Messina. We had 3 branches, branch directors. Captain Lunstead on Engine 12 was branch 1, fire branch. We had a police officer who shall remain nameless as branch 2 director. And we had medical ambulance company as branch 3 director. And under the branches, they had group supervisors. Under the fire branch 1, we had we had Maggie Walden as the BERT group supervisor for the 5 BERT teams that were deployed. We had James Inslee as the hazard material group supervisor. He's our hazard material representative. And then we had Engine 11, Acting Captain Jeff Davison as rescue group supervisor. And under branch 2, we had the law branch, which was staffed with a police patrol officer. We had volunteers of police services establish a traffic group, and we had evacuation group with other 2 officers to do evacuations. We requested resources through the EOC using the ham radio frequency. We requested resources to handle all those tasks that we've assigned, and we established a staging area at Skillman Park to accept resources and distribute them to the field. We had several multiple crews tasked. We requested USAR, Urban Search and Rescue, and as well as additional resources from fire, PD, and law. I think that pretty much covers it. Our shelter operations, the Red Cross, they were able to establish a shelter. We requested that they do so at Matthew Turner, and that was accomplished, and they were ready to receive relocated victims and residents from the area. Report on medical group.
Okay. ARC, we had 12 participants, volunteers that helped us out, and pretty much followed the plan as far as setup. Everything went smooth. We processed 2 victims. We were expecting in this scenario to process more, but that didn't come to be. But based on the assessment, I think the victims that were reused at the various sites. The only comment I guess I would say is from the logistics, and we didn't really utilize it as much as probably it should have been, is just for future drills, the coordination with the ambulances. They were kind of like, what do we do, where do we go, and things like that. I mean, they were standing there at the ready, but they weren't utilized to the degree that maybe they could have been just for future consideration. Some logistical items for consideration, coordination within MRC and BERT is maybe securing the setup of pop-ups and tables to a greater degree. And I think that's about it. Communication went well because they had great prayer there with the EOC, and I had my backup ham radio there, so we were able to monitor activities throughout the rest of the event and the rest of the city. But all in all, it went fine based on that. And I think the other thing to note, we had a couple of interested volunteers in the neighborhood that came by. They were interested in participating. Some younger individuals, some minors that expressed interest in future classes and whatnot. And I think Bert will probably report on some neighbors who were put into action and some of the rescue on a real-time basis as well that interface with MRC.
And the lack of patients. I'm not sure what happened with the patient quantities that we're expecting, but they didn't show up. But as far as the initial setup and everything of the hazmat trailer, that all went really well. We had everything set up in pretty much about 10 minutes, hold that area, and not allowed anybody to actually enter into those areas. We have a system called a multi-array system. It's a air monitoring system that we have set up for known types of gases. and they transmit via radio frequencies back to a head unit on a laptop, and that's how we control how big the area is, and that's how we are able to tell how big the area is that's affected, along with our software.
James, could you talk a little bit about the decon tents and the resources you have available here?
Sure, absolutely. The decon tent that we have currently in town is actually duplicated. We have one in South County here in town, one in North County up in Dixon, and they're mirror images of each other. And it's designed for a mass casualty decon setup where we have any more than 5 patients or more, where we need to decon them if they're contaminated. Once the hazmat team goes in and makes entry and determines that they are contaminated, the incident commander would call for this trailer to show up, and we'd split the county in half. Dixon goes to north half, Benicia goes to the south half, and it's designed to essentially get a lot of people through decon rapidly. We have a 4-chamber tent, each and it's split in half, so you have a male side and a female side. Theoretically, we can run 8 people through the system at once, so we can decon quite a large number of people very quickly. It's designed to keep people's modesty in mind, so we have gowns that they don and put on, disrobe everything underneath the gown. That way they maintain their modesty. They enter into the tent in the first chamber, and it's all sealed up so nobody sees them. And then they disrobe everything, go into the second chamber where it's piped in warm soapy water, and then progress to the third chamber, which would be warm water just to rinse. Goes to the 4th and final chamber of the tent system, and that's where they get another gown, different in color from their previous gown, and they're able to put that on, put on some booties, dry themselves off with a towel provided, all in the kit, and exit the system. Once they exit the system, one of our personnel will check for whatever the contaminant is. If it's an acid, we have pH paper. If it's a gas, we have the gas monitor equipment, so on and so forth. Once we determine they're clean, they then progress to the triage if they have any medical issues. If they are deemed they're not clean, they're still contaminated, we just cycle them back through the system.
With IAP and how the drill was going to go just in general. So when it was time to break up into teams, they did so very, very efficiently. So we just have a couple of lessons learned here, I think, and I'll take this offline with some of the BERT folks. But some of the things like the caches, the batteries in the caches were old, weak, not usable, things like that. But and then just that slight glitch right up front where we realized that the comm center was out, and I thought that was an exercise interject, but as it turns out, it was true. So we had a runner, very efficient runner, run down, get us some cell phones, came back, got those distributed. So that was hardly just a slight speed bump in the whole response. But overall, it went really well. And the only thing I was a little bit surprised. One of the teams reported as they were calling over medical situation on the ham radio. There was somebody, an ambulance outside the drill that responded. So we got a real ambulance responding. So I'm not sure how that person, I think they were just on a scanner of some type.
Yeah, I heard they were on channel 10 and they didn't know it was on there.
Yeah, so it was a real ambulance response.
So they actually got it.
Was at one of the sites?
Yeah.
It was at site 1.
And I think there was some confusion on that, and I take responsibility for that because at the time, there wasn't any confirmation whether that was drill traffic or real emergency traffic. So I erred in the side of caution and go ahead and we'll dispatch them and verify.
Oh, okay.
So that's what that happened there.
But all in all, I was really, really happy with the way BERT operated.
I just wanted to throw in that animal control here. We had 6 dogs simulated. One of them was a cat. I think 5 dogs was a cat. And we had tables set up for information and everything. We didn't get any customers, unfortunately. But now I'm representing the county, and this is one phase of it. So we're going to keep trying to set up different areas so you can be available. Because no matter what you guys think, when the emergencies come, it's animals are one of the first top 2 things.
Yes, I'm glad that you were able to participate in this drill and you're able to cohabitate with the shelter location.
Well, we really want to thank the Red Cross because we did have the Animal Services lead, who was the agency liaison. So anything we needed, we can work with her. So what really what?
Station system. I tried using a portable radio, and that was very unsuccessful. But when I tuned the truck radio in, I could get it. But I think the people who live in the community, I asked them to go and turn their TV on, and they had no problem receiving it. But I still wonder if the community knows what to do in the siren, because the siren was very clear. And if you have an evacuation, people are likely to use the little handheld. So maybe a test the next time you use a routine maintenance on the CAN system to see if you can receive with a portable, because everybody's told to buy a portable radio. Every time you hear QED asking for money, it's always use a portable radio. And boy, I just could not bring it into the standard Sony, but it was crystal clear on the truck.
So maybe some signal boosting issues that will be
Well, it could be that. It could be that's just a low-lying area. You know, it's, I don't know. But the bottom line is, I think the community needs to know more about what to do when the CAN system is activated.
A disaster, if it was as generated today, we would at least have information for the emergency managers to work off of.
We were initially dispatched, we got on scene and reported the plume and reported that we were uphill, upwind, and we were going to set up for operations at Waters End Park. I requested the hazardous materials unit for support and for an ambulance to respond to our location. And we didn't have real good communications for a while until one of the radio folks got to me. And once that happened, the incident commander gave me the designator as Branch 1 with rescue group, hazardous materials group, and the BERT groups below me. I had no direct communication with the BERT groups. They were doing a great job. I didn't need to bother them. I assigned some resources to the rescue group to assist BERT folks out in the field. Hazardous materials group supervisor oversaw the setup for the decon and any transition for folks coming through there into the medical area. And as requests came in to me from the incident command or from the EOC, I doled out resources.
Now this is what brings out the human nature. We look at 9/11 and post events such as that. People come out and people will show up, and people will get the job done. And no matter what resources we have, whatever obstacles we have, we're going to adapt, we're going to overcome, and we're going to get the job done. If we have a major incident happen here, I'm confident we will get the job done. Whether we have 15 BERT volunteers or 500 show up, and we'll get the job done with the resources we have. So I'd like to thank everyone for participating in this drill, and I'm turning this over to Fire Chief Steve Trowbridge.
It's our BERT members in time of a disaster. They will show up and they will participate, and we will have a lot of help to deal with a large-scale incident. I do want to thank all of you coming out on your Saturday, and I know everybody has a lot of things they could have been doing, but we really can't learn what we learned today unless we do exercises like this. We were in the EOC, we found a lot of things that we can improve upon, and I'm sure each of those branches out there and the things that took place, there's a lot of things we can improve upon. And it's way better to improve upon those things through exercises like this than doing it for real life disasters and wishing you could have done it differently and it had a serious consequence for not being as good as we could be. So I absolutely thank all of you for your willingness to spend the time with us today. And then finally, I just want to thank Ray Iverson. He put a lot of time and effort in putting this together and extra hours to try to pull this all through. And I think it was a great success because we learned a lot. So thank you.